Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we are definitely taking a shortcut, maybe the ultimate shortcut, through some really dense, really important science fiction. We're heading back to Arrakis. But not for the big victory lap, more for the messy and frankly horrifying aftermath of Paul Muad'Dib's whole messianic triumph.
Yeah, it's important to remember just how huge the first book, Dune, was. I mean, it wasn't just popular.
Right.
It really did sort of break the mold for the genre. You had universities teaching it, the whole Earth catalog calling it an environmental handbook.
Yeah.
It felt like this promise,
Evolution, freedom.
ecological balance, yeah.
Check.
And then in the sequel, Children of Dune, we basically watched that promise just
Right.
curdle.
Right.
So our mission today, using the material you provided, is to unpack what happens next. The fate of the Atreides dynasty, the terrifying consequences of them actually winning.
Okay, actually.
We need to figure out how Paul's government, which was supposed to liberate everyone, somehow merges with his religion and becomes this bureaucratic monster, as the book calls it. And that monster, that merging, that's really the core problem here. I mean, think about it. When breaking a law is the same as committing a sin, the whole system just seizes up. The very evolution Paul was aiming for, that constant adaptation, it just gets frozen, rigid.
So how does that happen? Is it just the jihad itself, or is it like a failure to keep the church and state separate?
It's the danger baked into any prophecy once you write it down. You
Yeah.
know? Paul gave them a survival framework, sure, but then the institution built around him, the priesthood, the Khazar they took over.
Oh, okay.
And they freeze everything. Duncan Idaho, he sees it clearly. He points out that breaking some minor rule is now treated like this major spiritual failing.
Which leads to judgment, guilt.
Exactly. Stagnation. No one dares question the path because it came from the savior, Muad'Dib. Evolution just grinds to a halt.
Wow. Okay, that's a suffocating setup for the next generation. Let's talk about Paul's twins then, Leto II and Ghanima. They're facing threats from, well, everywhere, inside and out.
And it starts before they're even born. Because their mother, Chani, was so saturated with the spice melange.
Right.
The twins are what's called preborn. They're awakened conscious in the womb.
And this is what the Bene Gesserit are terrified of, isn't it? They call it abomination.
Precisely. Abomination. Because it means these kids aren't just kids. They're born carrying the full consciousness, the memories of every single ancestor. Leto figures he's psychologically millions of years old at age 10.
Millions. So it's like having countless people shouting in your head all the time.
Shouting, scheming, clamoring for control. Yeah, and we see exactly how bad that can get almost immediately with Paul's sister, Alia. She's the regent, she's in charge, but she's already succumbing.
She can't handle the inner voices.
She tries to suppress them, which is the worst thing you could do. And the strongest, most toxic ego takes over. It's the ghost, the memory of Baron Harkonnen.
Oh, man. The original villain, the guy who destroyed their family in the first place.
That's the one, living inside her, using her political power, whispering temptations, even urging her towards killing your own mother, Jessica. Alia knows something's wrong. She keeps trying spice trances for guidance, but the Baron's hold is too strong. The spice fails her.
Okay, so Alia is the cautionary tale. The twins see her falling apart and realize suppressing these ancestors is, it's suicide. So what's the alternative? It sounds impossible.
It's terrifying. They realize they have to do something unprecedented. They call it amalgamation. Instead of fighting the egos or locking them away, they have to somehow integrate them, weave all those countless lives, even the monstrous ones like the Baron, into their own new identity.
Integrate the Baron. How do you do that without becoming him?
That's the razor's edge they have to walk.
Yeah.
It requires this immense psychological control, this constant balancing act, just to survive and stay themselves.
While this, epic internal battle is going on inside these kids, the planet Arrakis itself is changing around them. Paul's terraforming plan is actually working.
It is, yeah. But not everyone's celebrating. Stilgar, the loyal Fremen Naib, he looks at the spreading green, the shrinking desert, and he's horrified.
He doesn't like it, but isn't that the dream?
Not for him. He sees the friendly desert vanishing, and with it the old Fremen ways, the discipline. He complains about sloppy stillsuit manufacturing, people relying on pills to handle the heat. The desert culture that defined them is literally eroding.
So inner demons for the kids, cultural collapse for the Fremen. What about external threats? The old enemies haven't just gone away, have they? Let's talk Areno.
No, they definitely haven't. Princess Wensisha, the deposed Emperor Shaddam V's daughter, and her son, Prince Farad'n, they're plotting. They want the throne back, and their plan is brutal.
How brutal.
Assassination, specifically targeting the twins. And their method is, well, it's chilling.
Go on.
They're training laws of tigers, conditioning them to kill the Atreides heirs.
Tigers? How do you train a tiger to hunt specific people?
Systematically. The book describes these sessions where they feed pairs of children dressed in Atreides hot crust robes to the tigers.
Wait, they're feeding children to tigers?
Yes. Sacrificing innocents just to condition the animals to make sure they attack anyone wearing those symbols. It shows how desperate and, frankly, atrocious the Carinos are willing to be.
Okay, wow. So this brings Lady Jessica, Paul's mother, back to Arrakis, right? The Bene Gesserit Reverend Mother.
Yes, she returns, and she immediately spots the signs of Abomination in Alia. She knows how dangerous it is. But the twins, they're already playing a much deeper game.
Even with her grandmother.
So especially with her. Leto, this 10-year-old who's millions of years old, he actually uses the Bene Gesserit voice on her.
On Jessica. He controls her.
Forces her to agree to his plan, which is incredibly risky. Jessica has to let herself be abducted by the Carinos and taken to Farad's court to become Farad's teacher, just like she taught Paul. Leto's turning the Bene Gesserit's own weapon, their training, against their enemies by placing his mother right in their midst.
That's audacious. And they use the Carino assassination plot itself, the tiger attack, as part of their own plan.
Exactly. It becomes a feint with the tiger's attack as planned. Leto manages to slip away during the chaos. But Ghanima, she sells the story.
What story?
That Leto is dead. Killed, protecting her.
But he's not.
No, but the lie has to be absolute. Ghanima has to use all her preborn abilities to convince herself deep down that her brother is truly gone.
She has to believe it.
Or the whole plan, the golden path, falls apart. Leto has to be dead, even in her own mind.
Which leads us to Duncan Idaho, his final act. He's married to Alia, he knows she's possessed, that the situation is critical, and he gets guidance from this mysterious figure, the preacher.
Yes, the preacher nudges him. Duncan, the ultimate mentat, calculates his endgame. He can't just kill Alia that would destroy the Atreides image. He needs his death to mean something.
To protect the dynasty.
And galvanize the Fremen. So he confronts Stilgar, the one man absolutely bound by the old codes of honor.
And he provokes him deliberately with the 3 deadly insults. What are they again? They sound intense.
They are. First, he calls Stilgar a mere servant, stripping him of his status as a naib.
Ouch.
Second, a water thief. For Fremen, that's maybe the worst possible accusation. It's the crime that got the whole Siege of Jagruttu destroyed centuries ago.
Okay.
And the third, the real killer blow. He denies Stilgar's children immortality by insulting his lineage, basically saying his descendants are worthless, doomed.
And Stilgar, he has no choice.
His honor code dictates the response. Even though he realizes in that instant why Duncan is doing it, he's forced to strike. He kills his friend.
Duncan achieves his goal, a planned sacrifice.
A second death for the Atreides, as he puts it. His last words are something like 2 deaths for the Atreides, the second for no better reason than the first. It was a necessary move to shield the twins' real plan.
Which brings us back to the preacher. The one pulling Duncan's strings, maybe? This blind, old, leathery guy wandering the desert.
Preaching against Muad'Dib's religion, the very thing Paul created. He's got this young guide, Asan Tariq, who happens to be the son of a leader from the cast-out tribes, the ones Paul's jihad basically wiped out. The irony is thick.
And people suspect this preacher is Paul. Right?
Strongly suspect.
Yeah.
He speaks with that authority, that hint of the voice. He warns the priests that the desert will reclaim everything, that Muad'Dib's religion rejects them. It sounds like someone who knows the future or regrets the past.
Meanwhile, Leto, who everyone thinks is dead, is making his way to Jagruttu, this hidden smuggler's place, now called Fondak. And Jessica and Gurney Halleck are waiting for him there. To do what?
To push him into the next critical phase. They force him into a massive spice ordeal. A huge overdose designed to trigger overwhelming prescient visions.
Another trance. What does he see this time?
He sees everything. He fights off ancestors, his own father Duke Leto, the Baron again. But the key thing he discovers, the thing that changes everything, it's about prescience itself.
What about it? Why did Paul ultimately turn away from seeing the future?
Because Paul realized, and Leto confirms it in the trance, that to know the future absolutely is to be trapped into that future absolutely.
Trapped? How?
If you see the path laid out perfectly, you have no choice but to follow it. It removes all freedom, all possibility of deviation. It's not a tool for liberation, it's a cage.
So seeing the future actually stops you from changing it?
Exactly. Leto realizes that to truly save humanity, he needs a different kind of freedom, something outside that prescient trap.
And this leads to the big transformation, the really, really weird part.
You could say that. He comes out of the trance, walks out into the desert naked, and starts calling the sand drought to him.
The little things that become the giant worms.
Yeah, the very same. He uses his Bene Gesserit control over his own body chemistry, adjusting his enzymes, to stop his body rejecting them. He allows them, encourages them, to attach to his skin.
Attach.
They lock together, their cilia merging, forming this living biological second skin all over him, a durable membrane.
He becomes part human, part sandworm.
Pretty much. A hybrid. And this transformation gives him incredible strength, like the strength of many men, and crucially, vastly extended life. Thousands of years.
This is it. This is him becoming the God Emperor.
This is him embracing the Golden Path, his plan to save humanity.
Maybe becoming a tyrant.
A benevolent tyrant in his view. He plans to enforce peace, stability for 4,000 years, to be the first truly long-range planner ever.
4,000 years, and his first move is what?
Destruction. He immediately attacks the new Quanats, the water systems bringing greenery to Arrakis. He smashes them.
He reverses the terraforming, destroys his father's ecological dream.
He has to. To save the sandworms, which are dying out because of the moisture, he needs the worms, he needs the spice for his long-term plan. He blames it on fictional rebels, this desert demon, sacrificing the present for the far, far future.
Okay, the stage is set for the climax. Leto, transformed, goes back to the capital, Arrakeen. He confronts Alia at the temple.
And the preacher is there too? Leto confirms that, yes, it's Paul, his father.
So it's Paul, Alia, and this new Leto.
The failed past, the corrupted present, and the monstrous future, all in one place. Leto just uses his sheer presence, his new power, to expose Alia completely.
And the Baron Harkonnen inside her.
The Baron's voice screams out of her mouth, cursing Leto, realizing Leto actually succeeded where Alia failed. He conquered the ancestors. He didn't succumb.
And Alia.
The realization, the possession, the despair. It's too much. She leaps from a high window, falling to her death on the steps below. The Baron is finally gone.
Leaving Paul alone with his son.
Yeah, and Paul is just broken, blind, betrayed, seeing his own vision, twisted into this horrifying, maybe necessary conclusion.
Yeah.
Leto then cements his power. Instantly. He demonstrates his inhuman abilities to the shocked Fremen leaders, walks through fire, shrugs off knife attacks, casually lifts a massive guild transport ship with his bare hands. They are utterly cowed. He takes the Lion Throne.
Wow. So new emperor, what happens to the opposition? What about Farad'n, the Carino prince?
Leto is surgical. He spares Farad'n, but he gives him a new name, Hark Alada.
Hark Alada. What's that mean?
It means breaking of the habit.
Yeah.
Leto makes him the official royal scribe, and Farad'n agrees to marry Ghanima.
Marry Ghanima, his target.
Yes, and he'll be the secret father of the ongoing Atreides line. He essentially trades his claim to the throne, his Sardaukar armies, for this role in Leto's 4,000-year plan. He becomes part of the very dynasty he tried to wipe out.
Man, this story ends with that image, right? Leto and Ghanima, back to back.
Looking outward, protecting, as Ghanima realizes, the one thing which we have always been. She understands only Leto had the strength to embrace the sheer agony of the Golden Path.
The price of Paul's victory? His failed jihad? It was the creation of this godlike tyrant.
An incredibly dark thought, isn't it? That maybe humanity needed a monster, a divine controller, to force it onto a path of long-term survival.
Which brings us perfectly to that final provocative thought for you, the listener, to wrestle with. Think about Frad's new name, Hark Alada, breaking of the habit. Leto's golden path, this 4,000-year reign. He decided it was the only way to break humanity's ingrained habit. Our habit of falling into war, into mediocrity, into self-destruction. So what does that conclusion suggest about us, about human nature? And why might forcing us out of that habit, even through absolute tyranny, be the only possible road, in Herbert's view maybe, to some kind of true, lasting freedom down the line?